George Floyd. Thank you for joining us. Right now, a combination of rage, grief, and violence exploding on the American streets. Here's video right now from Flatbush, Brooklyn. You see the situation has escalated a lot since News 4 at 6. This is new video right here. Another police cruiser burning in Brooklyn and a standoff now in Union Square. This powerful moment, people kneeling, some holding up their hands as you saw, all in front of a line of officers. One woman holding up a sign saying, "Abolish the NYPD." But then there was this shocking scene in Brooklyn, a police cruiser accelerating into a crowd in Prospect Heights. Police say people threw bricks and a bag of flaming garbage at that car before it hit the gas. At this hour, the NYPD says at least 100 people have been arrested across the city. Protesters even desecrated St. Patrick's Cathedral, spray painting BLM for Black Lives Matter on the side of the church. And on the steps, George Floyd. Floyd is the black man who died after a white Minneapolis officer used his knee to pin him down for more than 8 minutes on Monday. And we have every angle of this protest and all of them across the city, across the country covered for you tonight. We're going to get right to News 4's Chris Glorioso in Union Square, where police vehicles are on fire right now. Chris.
Well, this intersection at East 11th and University Place, really a microcosm of what we have been seeing with these demonstrations all night, going from mostly peaceful resistance and then later on to a lot of danger. This is a charred out NYPD SUV. You can see it right there. It is not the first, but the second one we saw on fire in just a short period of time. And I want to take you down here. This is not just a matter of police vehicles on fire. We've also seen some vandalism or potentially looting. We don't know which. You can see this is a Verizon store right here with its window that was bashed out. We've seen multiple police cruisers with their windows bashed out. And I want you to see some of the video that we took earlier of that first NYPD van that was truly engulfed in flames. We watched the difficulty that the FDNY had as they were trying to respond with possibly hundreds of protesters in danger around that van on fire as the FDNY pumper tried to get there to spray water and ultimately put it out. You can still hear the sound of sirens throughout the city and throughout Manhattan in particular, because a number of these protesters have scattered, and they are really not just literally but also figuratively having to put out fires all over the place. We saw earlier in the evening some of those fires were simply trash cans turned over with cardboard inside. But again, progressively later in the evening, as a protest in Union Square became even more intense, we saw some of these splinter groups run off and begin to conduct themselves in a way that, frankly, a lot of the peaceful protesters were quite angry about. They did not like to see the message about George Floyd and their message about police violence distorted by some of these episodes where, again, police cruisers caught on fire, building windows bashed in. Just a difficult scene to see out here tonight. A lot of pain out here tonight on all sides. And we're going to continue to follow it for you. For now, reporting live in Union Square, Chris Glorioso, News 4, New York. Okay, Chris, thank you so much. Now we go to Brooklyn, where protests are popping up all over the place. A large crowd now gathering at Barclays Center. And News 4's Adam Harding is there for us. Adam, you were there too last night. Give us a sense of what the crowd is like tonight.
Well, the scene is a lot different tonight than what we saw last night outside of the Barclays Center. We're now into Fort Greene. Adam, let me walk with you as these protesters continue right now at this hour. They were at the Barclays Center about 15 minutes ago. They made their way across the street to a nearby Target. There was a very heated exchange right in the front door of the Target store. Of course, we've seen a number of Targets looted all across the country in the wake of George Floyd's death. And we saw some people holding the line outside of the front door at the Target. Now, minutes ago, protesters then left the Target area, and this is the crowd that you see right now. They're making their way here down through Fort Greene. They are holding signs saying Black Lives Matter. They have been at it now for 8 hours. But Adam, the major story tonight, here in Brooklyn at least, was what happened on the Manhattan Bridge. Take a look at some brand new video that we just got into our newsroom, sent to us from a witness. He says late tonight, part of the bridge was shut down as thousands of protesters were trying to make their way over the Manhattan Bridge from Brooklyn into Manhattan, into where Chris Glorioso was. The protesters on this side of the bridge wanted to gather with them. At some point, a water bottle appears to have been thrown. That's when tempers flared between some protesters and police. And one witness we spoke with said it simply turned chaotic.
Peacefully protesting, we've been peacefully protesting the entire time. Somebody threw a water bottle. Who knows who it was? Because honestly, there's been people being sent out into crowds to instigate. But everyone at the front of the crowd and everybody who was organizing this protest was preaching nonviolence and for it to be a peaceful cross across this bridge so we can unite with our brothers and sisters on the other side. And they didn't let us cross.
And the protests, Adam, that we're seeing tonight here in Brooklyn have been very peaceful. Again, they met at the Barclays Center. They were there until about 10:45, and that's when they started moving first to that Target store, now to where we are, making our way into Fort Greene. Their exact destination, we just don't know at this point. We are simply following the crowds as they continued their protest.